What's up, guys? Vol here, bringing you a brand new movie car remake. In today's remake, I am bringing you the 1995 Nissan GTR R33 from Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And her codename was Nightbird of the Terrorcons. She was a bad guy of the movie, and well, one of them anyways. And the car is actually an absolutely stunningly beautiful car. It's kind of weird because it was a 1995 car, but not as old as the movie was actually taking place. So it's kind of weird for the time frame for the car, but hey, it is movie magic, you know, all that. With GT Online, I think I did pretty good for the build specs for this car, and you guys can let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. So I'm just going to go over real quick what this car is like design wise. So it is a gray R33 with purple rims. And it also has a custom Rocket Bunny body kit and highlights throughout the entire car, which is pretty much in like a copper color. I mean, the actual on-screen car is absolutely beautiful. It is like custom made for this movie, and it's one of the coolest cars I've seen in a movie for a very, very long time. I mean, this is coming from a guy that watches a lot of Fast and Furious too. But I mean, overall, I think the car turned out beautifully, and for what we have, it can't really get much better than this, other than maybe having like a couple better modification options. But I mean, hey, I think it turned out decent. So let me know what you think, and we're gonna get into starting with the base price. You want to go to the internet, you want to go to the Travel and Transport website, you want to go to Benny's Original Motorworks website, you want to go over to the stock section, and you want to go down and you want to find yourself the Elegy RH8. So this car was released with the game, so there is no actual like location that it was released with or anything, like a DLC or anything. So the Elegy RH8 is actually free for me because I have my social club account registered. If you do not have your social club account registered, then you're going to be paying a whopping $95,000, which I'll put right here. And then you're also going to be paying the upgrade fee to turn it into the Retro Custom right here. Not actually that one, but you get the idea. And you're going to be paying a whopping $904,000 for that. So overall, a pretty expensive car, but overall, it turned out beautifully for the build. So anyways, once you have your car and you have your color, meet us at Benny's Original Motorworks location. Benny's doesn't get enough love as is, and I figured I would come here and actually do this. Now, I will say that this custom crew color I came up with is a very beautiful color. I call it blue violet gray. Now, the main reason for this is in the light, or like in the sunlight, it has a gray kind of base, but then it also kind of looks purple in like the accent colors. And at night, it is a kind of grayish type base to it, but then it has a bluish kind of shine to it. So it's pretty cool, and it is honestly a really cool like color changing custom crew color I created yet again. And yeah, let's just get in and customize the beauty. I mean, let's just stop talking. Let's go customize. So as you pull in, the Elegy Retro Custom is in the sports category. Self-explanatory. It is based around an R33, R34, R32, mixture of some sort around that area. Not sure exactly what it's based on. I think the base body is actually based on an R33, but I'm probably wrong on that. Anyways, as I always do, I go over the overall look, the visual appearance, the basic design, and the car and how it's portrayed in the movie, game, or anywhere else in general itself. Anything I don't go over is completely up to you. I just put a few staples in on my build. If you want to recreate my build or take some things away from my build, you're more than welcome to. But without further ado, let's get into the build. So to start things out, you want to go to bumpers, you want to go to the front bumper, and you want to put on the splitter with canards. Now again, it did have a Rocket Bunny custom body kit on it, and we can't really get that in game, but you do want to kind of add these canards on the side there because it did actually have the canards like on the car. Unfortunately, they were in a bronze color along with like the side skirt and like the front grille here with the lights, but I can't get that in GT Online, so I'm just kind of going with what I have. So the splitter with the canards is the best option for this part. After that, move on to the rear bumpers. You want to go with the carbon track diffuser. You want to have this nice, decently sized diffuser on there. It does fit pretty decent, and it does go out quite a little bit. It also is a different shape. It's a lot wider in the middle, which is actually how the car actually had its diffuser on there. Also, it did not have these little like fins or, you know, like the race diffuser parts that kind of stick down there. So the carbon track diffuser is the best option right here. After that, move on to the bumper accessories. You want to go to bumper meshes, and you want to remove the bumper mesh. What that's going to do is it's going to open up that nice, beautiful intercooler in there, but it's also going to keep the mesh around the main actual, like, around the hood area for the car. After that, move on to the intercoolers. You want to go with none. Now, sadly, I didn't see no intercooler of the car, so it's kind of like up in the air if it actually had an intercooler or not. There's not many pictures of the car actually floating around. The ones I did find though, I didn't see anything, and it was pretty dark inside the body kit, so it's kind of hard to tell if it does have one. Most likely it does. It did have a really sick looking hood on there to kind of possibly give it even more like push power for the turbo if it had one, which I did add one on mine. But I'd say for the intercoolers, just go with none, just kind of keep it stock, and it just kind of keeps it a little bit more hidden, and it doesn't, you know, overpower the car too much. From there, move on to the chassis. You want to go to headlight trim. You just want to keep that none. It didn't have no air intakes or like any kind of like covers or anything on the lights. Don't worry about changing that. From there, move on to the doors. You want to go with the stock doors. Didn't have any kind of like wind deflectors or anything of that sort on the sides. After that, move on to the fenders. You want to go with a wide angular rear fenders on there because it is a wide body. Again, it had a custom Rocket Bunny body kit on there, and I think it does look really nice. Sadly, we can't get a Rocket Bunny body kit on here. It'd be kind of cool if we could. So I kind of designed my own. Unfortunately, I can't get the front little like part on there because it is bolt on, and sadly it was not bolt on. It was just a solid piece to it. So the thing I went for was the wide angular rear fenders. I think it does fit the best and just kind of looks the best for the car, and it did have those kind of like shape to the back end as well. From there, move on to the engine. Now, I don't really know what was underneath the actual hood of the car, so this is my own take on this. So you can follow along if you wish, or change it up however you wish. So for the engine block, I went with none, trying to keep that RB26 in there. After that, move on to the cam cover. I went with the stock cam cover. Again, just kind of want to try to keep that basic RB26 that's supposed to be in most Nissans. And then after that, move on to the strut brace. I went with a carbon strut brace. Just to kind of change it up a little bit. I feel like it would just be too shiny for it underneath and everything. So I feel like the carbon like strut brace on there actually does fit pretty decently. After that, move on to the exhaust. You want to go with the titanium exhaust. Now, I think this one fits the best. The reason I say this is because it wasn't a massive exhaust like this, how wide it is, and like compared to the actual like exhaust part, how the tip is. So I would say the titanium exhaust is the best option. Now you're probably thinking, why didn't you go with the chrome exhaust? It was the same exact design. It is, but it's a lot shinier. And from actually looking at the exhaust, it doesn't look that shiny. And I feel like adding a little bit of flair with the titanium exhaust with the colored tip and everything actually does look pretty cool, and it kind of matches the car in my opinion. So titanium exhaust is what I went for, but completely your choice if you want to go for this, or if you actually think it had like a chrome exhaust, and just go with the big bore exhaust. After that, move on to the grille. You just want to keep that stock. Unfortunately, I can't change the secondary color to be like a copper color. If I could, I would, but it changes the actual hood, the roof, and the actual trunk of the car, as well as some body parts like the skirts and this front part here. It's not enough to actually change it and to actually go on with that design, so just go with the stock grille here. From there, move on to the hood. You want to go to hood accessories. You just want to go with none. Don't worry about changing or adding any lips or kind of like hood catches on there at all, because it didn't have any. After that, move on to the hood. You just want to go with a duct hood. It had like a big, huge, like kind of like block part on the side of the hood. And unfortunately, we don't have anything like that in GTA Online. It's kind of, I mean, you could kind of go maybe with the vented hood, but I feel like that doesn't fit it. So I feel like just going with the duct hood is a better option, and it just kind of is on the right side of where it's supposed to be for the car and everything. So I just feel like it kind of adds a little bit of flair, a little bit of touch to it, and it's just not overdoing like actually covering or like changing the entire hood per se. Because I feel like the duct was just kind of like an addition to the hood. So the duct hood is the best option for the build in my personal opinion. From there, move on to the interior. Again, this is my own take on the interior. A few things I did note for the build, but other than that, most of it is going to be my take. So for the trim, you want to go to trim design. You just want to keep it clear. It was no sunstrip on the car, so don't worry about adding that. After that, move on to the trim color. You just want to go with a nice dark black. I don't think it had anything else. It definitely didn't have white, that's for sure. The seats were definitely black. I know that for a fact. So I'd either go with a black or a graphite. This time, I would honestly just say go with black, just to kind of keep it safe and everything. From there, move on to the dash. You just want to go with a stock dash. I feel like this kind of fits the best. It wasn't stripped out per se on the inside. It was built pretty decently, but I mean, I would just keep it stock. I don't think it had the big handle and all that, and like the stripped out bottom. So yeah, I would just honestly go with the stock dash. From there, move on to the dials. Now, this is my own take on this. I don't really know if they had this or not. I went with the Tasho and glove box gauges. It kind of gives the Tasho gauge in the middle of the console there. I know I didn't see anything sticking up from the windows and all that on the front, so I didn't see like any boost gauges like this, like that. So I wanted to kind of hide it a little bit, and I feel like the glove box ones fit a little bit better than the actual ones that are up on the dash, like as you can see here. They just kind of look a little weird and just kind of like seem like they're just inserted in there. I don't know. I feel like the glove box just fits and kind of looks a little bit cooler, and that's what I went with for my build. From there, move on to the doors. You just want to go with none. Nice, clean, clear doors. So yeah, just go with none. Keep them nice and stock. After that, move on to the seats. You want to go with a carbon bucket seat. I think this fits the best. The holdings were not actually up as high as this. They were kind of like in the middle. And I feel like the red seat belts are actually the better option to go for than the green. It just kind of fits with the whole like pink, purplish kind of rim to it. I feel like the carbon bucket seats are the best option. From there, move on to the steering wheels. Again, this is my own take on this. I went with a Sprint basic steering wheel, a 3-prong basic steering wheel. You could probably go for something along the lines of like a Sprint MK2 or maybe even like a Sprint featherweight or something along those lines if you wanted to. But I feel like just going with a Sprint basic design is just good enough as is. After that, move on to the light color. I went with the frost white. I highly doubt it had like colored lights at all. Plus, it kind of makes the gauges look a bit easier to see. So frost white, what I went with. After that, move on to the roll cage. Unfortunately, it did have a roll cage in it, and you want to make sure it does go down over the windows and kind of like down over the dash. So the dash dodger cage is the best option in my personal opinion. It wasn't padded, so don't worry about changing, like adding on the padding on there like that. So I would just definitely go with the dash dodger cage. Just kind of keep that nice, clean roll cage in there. So dash dodger cage, way to go. After that, move on to the lights. You want to go to headlights. You just want to keep them stock. Again, an older style car. I love these lights. I wish I could get them on a lot of other cars, but unfortunately I can't. So yeah, just go with the stock lights. From there, move on to the neon kits. You want to go to neon layout. It's going to be none because I didn't see any neon on the car. Even at night, there was no neon on the car. So honestly, I feel like it would kind of ruin the car. And not a lot of cars actually add neon for movies and things like that anymore. So it's kind of like a underwhelming ability for most movie cars anymore. So yeah, no neon. Don't worry about changing that. After that, move on to the livery. You just want to go with none. A nice clean build. It didn't have no like rusty kind of design to it. It didn't have no like sponsors or anything. It was just a nice clean R33 Rocket Bunny body kit style car. I mean, that's pretty much a sums it up car. I would say almost like a drift missile. And I did see it actually drift, and it was actually a really cool looking drift car too. So yeah, for the livery, I just go with none. After that, move on to the plates. You want to go to plate holder, and you want to remove the front plate. Didn't have no front plate. Don't worry about that. After that, move on to the license. You just want to go with a blue and white 2. Actually, you can go with anything you want because there's no plate on the back. And you can go with any plate you wish to go for. So honestly, I just went stuck with the blue and white 2. Since it doesn't do anything, you're just spending more money unless it's free for you like it is for me, then I really wouldn't change it. So, I mean, just keep it the way it is. Same respray for last. Move on to the roof. You want to go to roof accessories. You want to go with none. Didn't have no vents on the roof, so don't worry about adding or changing anything on there. After that, move on to the roof itself. I went with a roof spoiler. It did have the kind of like louvers on the back for the window, and they were on like the, I want to say pretty much like the primary color of the car too. Sadly, I can't get anything close to that, so I feel like kind of at least having one kind of like louver type design to it, like with the roof spoiler, is better than having nothing. So that's why I went with the roof spoiler. It kind of just gives the kind of like appearance or I guess look kind of style to it for the louvers, and that's why I chose it. After that, move on to the skirts. You want to go with the drift skirts. I think these fit the best. You're just going to be spending more money if you go for the secondary skirts, so don't worry about doing that. So yeah, just go with the drift skirts. They were nice and wide. I wish I could get them even bigger than this, or like maybe have some like canards or like something on the side there, but this is about the best option you can get. Yeah, drift skirts, best way to go. After that, move on to the spoiler. I went with the Extreme Street Racer wing. Now, the main reason for this is it was a chassis mounted wing or spoiler, and it did have these kind of like fins on the side here. These are too small and it's too sharp, and the kind of like brace is too chrome, like too shiny, too clean. I feel like adding the kind of like black bracket one on there actually fits it a lot better. You know, makes it look more of a kind of Rocket Bunny style design to it and the way the car actually looks. And I mean, like I said, you take putting this wing on there, it just kind of removes the plates. You know, we're gonna have to worry about that. So Extreme Street Racer wing is the best option in my personal opinion there. After that, move on to the suspension. I kept with the stock suspension. I don't think if you want to do anything more to it, you could go with a lowered, but I mean, personally, I'm just gonna keep it stock. It was decently high off the ground. It wasn't like a low car. So honestly, I would just go with the stock suspension. Again, if you really want to push a little bit, you could probably go, I would say, as much as a street, but that is completely your call if you want to. After that, move on to the turbo. Honestly, I added a turbo. I feel like it's a transformer. I feel like their performance would be insane. So I added one. I feel like it just fits the car. Plus the like intake on the hood just looked insane. So it had to have a turbo of some sort, or maybe a twin turbo. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what the specs are for the car, so I just added a turbo just to kind of get that extra performance. After that, we move on to the wheels. I had to kind of transition over here to the LSC because unfortunately these wheels are in the wheel type street category, and sadly you cannot get these rims in Benny's. You can only get the track category in Benny's. I don't know why you can't get the street ones in there. It's kind of odd in my opinion, but the street option is what you want to go for. So you want to go for the street Endo V4 dish rims. Now these I think fit the best. They kind of have the same amount of spokes to them. They kind of are like fanning outwards instead of inwards, but they have the same design to them, the same middle kind of like bracket, like bolt-on design look to them, as well as the same kind of deep dish. And I mean, these just fit the best in my personal opinion. There are probably other ones that may fit pretty decent as well, but these Endo V4 dish rims in the street category, I just think fit really, really well. Now you're probably looking at this color and probably thinking, how the heck do you have that? This color is actually a unique color, and I have alternatives for this, just like I do my custom crew colors. There's an alternative for this. So if you're a new gen, we're going to go to the wheel color right now. If you're on new gen, you can get this with GTA Plus this month. It is the Anodized Burgandy Pearl. What this does is it kind of makes like a purplish pink kind of rim to it, and for this car, it just makes the car pop. Now, again, this is on new gen, on PS5, Xbox S and X, and if you're on old gen, you probably can't get this. I don't even think you can get chameleon colors on there. If you can, it's probably like some kind of like, give cars to friends or like merging glitches or something. I don't know, something like that. But the Anodized Burgundy Pearl is the best option to go for in my personal opinion. But again, if you do not have the option to do this, then the next best option to actually go for is actually a Schafter purple, because they were purple rim. This is what I had on before I actually switched to the Burgundy Pearl. So I mean, it's a big jump, it's a big difference, but that is actually what I went for before I actually had the option to do the Anodized Burgundy Pearl. Now it is really sad that they actually locked this behind a paywall. I mean, why can't they just bring out all of these colors? Because they actually have a few custom like design colors that they added like chameleon wise for just like GTA Plus members. But again, do remember that the actual rims were supposed to be purple. So that's why when I made this car normally, I went with a Schafter purple. But then the GTA Plus came out and it gave me the Burgundy Pearl. So that's what I'm going with, and that's what I'm sticking with. After that, move on to the tires. You want to go to tire design. You just want to keep them stock. Didn't have no tire text or anything, so don't worry about adding or changing anything on there. After that, move on to the tire enhancements. I would honestly put bulletproof tires on just because, I mean, it's a Transformer. Again, I highly doubt their tires will be like popped at all. Like I bet you they're indestructible most likely. So yeah, I would say bulletproof tires best option. After that, move on to the tire smoke. You just want to go with a nice white tire smoke. I mean, I don't really change this that much, if at all. And then last before the respray is windows. You just want to go with a nice dark limo tint. This car was really darked out, probably because it did have a stunt driver in it and everything. So I mean, that just kind of fits it. And I feel like a lot of Transformer car builds actually have tinted windows. Maybe it's just because of the stunt driver and all that, but it could just be how the Transformer builds are too. So limo color is the best option for the window tint in my personal opinion. All right, now that we're back over at Benny's, I will see you guys in 2 seconds with a rolled steel primer color. All right, and we're back. As you can see, I have my car in my primered out rolled steel. Pretty much what I always do for all my builds. That way you know what colors I'm going to be doing for the build. LSC color and custom crew color. So we're going to go over the LSC color first. You want to go to the primary color. You want to go down to metallics. Then you want to go down and you want to find the midnight silver. And you want to apply that just like that. After that, go to the secondary color. Go down to the metallics and also find the midnight silver just like that. So you're going to get this kind of like darkish kind of gray color to it, which actually does fit decently for the build if you don't have custom crew color option. And then you want to go up to the primary again. You go up to pearlescent, and you want to add the same pearlescent that I have on the custom crew color to the LSC color build here, which is actually going to be a harbor blue. And what this is going to do, it's going to give that kind of like grayish bluish kind of shine at night, but then in the daytime it may kind of switch over to a purplish color. I think it may just be my custom crew color that does that, but I mean, for this build, for the LSC color option, it is a decent design overall. After that, go down to trim color, make sure it's on black, and then you're pretty much done. That is the LSC color done. Again, a very viable option if you don't have an option to do the custom crew color or don't want to. And it did turn out pretty decent, but I have to say that my custom crew color is just the chef's kiss. So yeah. So again, I will put the hex code down on the video right now, as well as the hex code and RGB down in the description below for you guys. So you just go down here to the crew option here, and you're going to see it change in 3, 2, 1. As you can see, the color changes. It turns into more like a dark grayish purple gray. And like I said, I call this color blue violet gray. This is the custom crew color I created and came up with, and I even named it, I guess. So after that, you go down to the secondary color, go down to crew, then you're going to apply that just like that as well. So boom. That way you have the car all one solid custom crew color. Then you want to make sure you go to the primary color, check the pearlescent, make sure it is on a harbor blue. I did the harbor blue because it is a gray, but then as you can see, it does have like kind of a blue hue to it. And then in the daytime, it kind of has more of a purple hue to it. So it's like, it's a very interesting color to go for. Try it on some of your builds. Let me know what you think. And trust me, whenever you see it in the game compared to the video, it's a major difference. Again, just make sure everything else is the same, and then you're pretty much done. But yeah, guys, that is it. That's how you recreate the 1995 Nissan GTR R33 from Transformers Rise of the Beasts, better known as Nightbird of the Terracons. Again, a really nice, cool looking car in the movie. I wish we had a better customizable options in GT Online. So let's go outside real quick. It is sunny out, which kind of sucks, but I mean, at least you get to see the color that I mean. As you can see, I'll do a little spin for you guys real quick. Just real quick, because I'm not actually fully in the sun. But like I said, that is the car in all its glory. Let me know what you think, and let's go for a drive. So yeah, guys, I don't think actually anyone really requested this. Again, if you did, I'll definitely put that at the beginning of the video. But I thought this would be a cool car to build. You know, I watched the movie. I got a lot of inspiration from it. I did create Mirage. You might be seeing that a little bit later on in the future. But as of right now, this is going to be the very first, I believe, the brand new Transformers movie build that I've done. I already did Ironhide and Starscream. Both of them turned out pretty decent and got decent, you know, reviews and critiques and all that. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the support. And yeah, you guys can let me know what you think about the Nightbird build. But yeah, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap up the video. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down in the comment section down below for what build you'd like to see next. Links are down in the description below for Twitter, Discord, and the crew. You're free to join and leave at any time you wish. If you ever want a custom crew color, let me know. I will be more than happy to change it for you when I get the time. And stay tuned for more builds, more videos, more streams, and of course, the costume car contest coming here in October. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the love and support, as always. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. I'll catch you guys later, and I'm out. Peace.